In this video, you are going to see one of the weirdest what's in the bags of all time. I can guarantee it, no one has anything on how weird my bag setup is. Anyways, we're going to get right into things. Right now, I'm playing the TP5X Stripe. I'm going to move away from this ball. Something that I've noticed is the spin numbers aren't there. I'd like to pick up about 10 to 15% more spin, so I'm going to actually move to the little brother, the TP5. You're going to find a lot of really odd things in my bag. First and foremost, I don't know why I still carry this, but it's pretty much my tool. I use it for my driver, although this is actually for the Callaway, the Apex AI Smoke or whatever. I was trying to figure out how to get that thing dialed in, but it's currently not in the bag, spoiler alert. I have my little tripod thing. It's actually a monopod. You just stick it into the thing when I make short form content, or mostly I just record my swing down the line and I send that to my coaches so they can kind of keep an eye on how I'm doing. I have a couple of old scorecards from different places I've traveled to play golf. I'm trying to collect these, and now when I travel out, I'd like to keep these in the bag. Continuing on, I have my tees in this little flap thing here. I'm using this Vessel bag. I got it used. Spoiler alert, the bag says Jeffrey Johnson. I am not Jeffrey Johnson. I use these pink plastic tees. I don't know, like the way they look and I like where they line up. Easy to tell and get it consistently for a driver height. On this side of the bag, we have a couple of odd things here. Divot tool that I never use, honestly. Another golf cleaning tool that I almost never use. Something that I like to use but doesn't have any water in it, which is a little squeegee for the irons. And then I use the Red Tiger, not sponsored. This is probably the best rangefinder I've ever had. It's like 90 bucks, probably cheaper with Black Friday and everything. Super great, not sponsored, I like it a lot. And then I keep a couple of towels. I have a cleaner towel. This works mostly to keep the moisture off. And then this is dirty, so mostly just fix the dirty clubs. And this side, I think I'll show these three things are probably the most important things in my bag that are not clubs. Honestly, they might be more important than the clubs. This is a level. I use aim point, or at least I try to, and aim point is useless without this guy. If you can, it's really ridiculous to say this out loud, but the goal should be that before any competitive round or any round you're really trying to keep track of and add to your handicap, you should get one of these and then lock in, go to the practice greens and make sure you can feel what a 1% feels like, 1% degree, which is doing this, this for 2, this for 3. So aim point, you see all the pros use it. The only way it works is if you're constantly dialing in your numbers. So that's important. This is the Pels Golf putting suitor. I really like this. It's also a pain in the ass because it's really hard to hit this damn thing when you put the two little magnets here. And the goal is just to hit putts that start on line. And then this little bungee cord here, this is my favorite thing on planet Earth. It kind of cools me down after a session and then also warms me up big time. These are dirt cheap on Amazon and it's gonna save your life. If you don't wanna go like warm up at the range, this just kind of is like a calisthenic thing, get me stretching, get me feeling mobile, get my back loose and get my shoulders going and my back going. It just feels great. We're gonna go straight into some fun stuff. I play technically 4 wedges in the bag. I have the 58 and the 54. They're gonna be the Vokey SM10s. My 58 is gonna be an M grind, which is gonna be for kind of a firmer, tighter lie, which is what we're pretty accustomed to here in California. When it dries out during the summer, it's so firm and so dead. The only problem is now, like most places, this doesn't feel that great and not as forgiving when you play on really soggy greens, like around the green. So I might have to look into figuring something out for winter golf. It's 8 degrees of bounce. And then for my 54 degree, I have 12 degrees of bounce with the D grind, which is kind of like the baby brother, a little more forgiving than the M grind. We'll get into the numbers towards the end of the video where we can talk about what you see behind me, which is my distances with everything. Next thing we have is my 50 degree wedge, which is going to be a Mura club. It's wonderful. It's one of my favorite clubs in the bag. I feel like anytime I have this, I can feel like I'm ready to attack. 50 degrees. I don't know anything about the bounce or anything. It doesn't say anything on there, so it feels good. There we go. Back to another SM10. Back in the Vokeys, we have the pitching wedge, I guess for a lack of better terms, in my set, which is a 46 degree. I love that I'm able to move this right and left. For the most part, I just play a draw when I'm feeling myself. It's gonna be 10 degrees of bounce with the F grind for full swing. So don't use this for anything but full swing and then maybe 3/4 swing. And we'll continue on through. You'll see something really fun now. The only iron that is the odd one in the bunch is gonna be this 9 iron. This is the Titleist T150. It's an awesome club. It's probably one of my favorite clubs in the bag. And the reason why I want to bring this in here is I have what makes my bag super odd, if it isn't the 4 head covers you see behind me, is the fact that I have 2 9 irons. Yeah, I have two 9-irons. The reason is I just love the way this feels, and for me, the most important thing is gapping, and that's why I have technically two 9-irons. I treat this mostly as my pitching wedge, and I treat my 46 degree as my pitching plus wedge. That number is going to be around 122, 120, which is the 46 degree. I feel really comfortable with that number, and for me, the gap between a pitching wedge or a set pitching wedge and the 9-iron was too big, and even worse case, or even worse so, the gap between my 50 degree and my playing pitching wedge was too large yardage wise. So I'd rather do this, and you can see in the screen behind me, and I'll pull the numbers up. Pitching wedge is going to be my 46 degree, and then 9-iron 1 is going to be what I will refer to as baby 9-iron. That one's gonna be 135 full, and then my big 9-iron is 143 full. So it seems like a small gapping of around 8 yards. For that reason is why I play two 9-irons. What you'll see in all of my clubs for my iron set, minus the wedges, are LA Golf shafts. I'm playing the LA Golf shafts, the A series. They're 105 gram extra stiff shafts. They do feel like you're swinging a board, I cannot lie to you. But again, not sponsored by anyone in the bag. From 9, or big 9 I should say, to the 5-iron, I play the ZX5s. Again, super forgiving, significantly larger than what I've been playing in the past. And to be honest, just this V-sole shape that you see on the bottom, it's really well known, and it just works out really well for me. I enjoy it. The offset's not ridiculous. It feels good. It's super forgiving, and that's what I'm going to need from a club. That will do that. In the wedges, I play the L series. They're 120 gram wedge shafts. Extra stiff. A little too stiff, if I'm being totally honest, in the wedges, but I don't know. Maybe down the line we'll be switching that. As you can see, by the way, here, just a little sneak peek on the room. We're going to do a full video about this. All of these shafts, I'm a shaft hoarder at this point, are on the wall. Even some of them have fallen off the wall, some fallen soldiers. So that is the wall of retired shafts. Anyways, coming right along. To get to the first head cover that you'll see in here, this is going to be my 3 hybrid. This works kind of as a utility club. For me, this gets anywhere from 195 to 205, depending on how I use it. Off the tee, it works great as a punchy lower 4-iron for me. And then off the deck, I can kind of play this nice big sweeping cut with it that goes like 180, 185. If I feel like I need a little more stopping power, or I just don't like the lie and I don't want to use an iron, this works great for that. So this is the Ping G430 3 hybrid. Love it. It's really good. I don't really use it all that often though, to be totally honest. Under the second one here, head cover, under the Titleist GT head cover, it's a Catfish. This is, again, one of the craziest club setups that I have in my bag. You'll see there, it says 5 wood, but you'll see the shaft and its playing height is very, very short. It's similar to that of it plays as 41 inches, which is that of an average 7 wood. So yeah, I have a 7 wood shaft on a Tour 5 wood head. It works really well. Oddly enough, it just works really, really well. I'm happy with what it does. What I need this for is like a big sweeping cut, or, off the tee, I'm looking for like 205 yards with a little bit more height. Maybe I'm playing with wind behind me, or maybe I just, it just feels great. This off the fairway is a killer. In thick lies is really great as well. So this is the QI10 Tour 5 wood head on a 7 wood body. So we'll call it like a 6 wood, and it works really well for me. And that's why it's staying in the bag. I don't see it leaving anytime soon. Continue along. We have yet another Catfish under the Ace of Spades for my secret weapon. It's one of my favorite clubs in the bag. Again, a really odd one, something that most people aren't doing. I have a 5 wood head. Again, another 5 wood head. It is a little hotter one. It's the GT2 Titleist. It's significantly hotter as it's 16.5 degrees. I turned it down just a hair to get it around, I think, 15.5 or 16. And it's in the draw setting, D2. In this, we have the DJ shaft, which is going to be awesome. I have the same shaft in my 7 wood, by the way. It's 65 gram. I wish it was a little heavier, like 75 gram. I like heavier shafts for my woods for some reason. This is playing longer. This plays the length of a 3 wood, but again, this is a 5 wood head, so I treat it kind of like a 4 wood. It works really hot. I can get a really nice cut on it. If I choke up a little bit on it, we can take a bunch of distance off. This club, I expect somewhere in the neighborhood of about 220 yards when it's really hot off the tee, when I'm playing well. And then for the most part, even on my misses, it goes around 205, 210. So that's why I love my 7 and my 5 wood, which are actually like 6 and 4 woods, honestly. Moving on to the last 2 clubs in the bag. We'll go quickly to what is the pretty obvious one, we have a really fun club here. It's a Titleist GT3. Well, we got Fit 4, but with the different shaft than I think I've shown or mentioned in the past. And that's going to be this beautiful Ventus Blue 7X. So a super heavy, super stiff club, but it works well with me. I know I don't swing that fast. Club head speed with driver on a good day is going to be at like 107, 108 if I'm really getting after it. And then I think I'm on average around 105 on most days. So don't think that's at all gives me the right to be using the shaft, but I got fit for it and it just was a match made in heaven. It just worked out for my swing, however that may be. So this is the Velocore Plus, the newer model, I think the 2024 model in the Ventus Blue with the 8-degree GT3 head. Honestly, this head probably launches a little too low for me. I think if I'm being honest, I'd probably get a 9-degree if I switch this up. I see that my flight is just a little too low. I'm not getting it high enough and I feel like I'm losing some distance on it. To be totally honest, think off the tee, I'd be pretty happy if this was about 240 carry. And yeah, that's my driver. Going over to the last club in the bag, and this is my new baby, another new club since we've last discussed. And this is going to be one of the quirkiest setups you've ever seen before as well. And that is, we gave up on the broomstick at no fault to Lab, but we can't give up on Lab because I really believe in their product. And we've got the Lab Link 1. This is a freaking killer. I'm a big fan of the blade style putter, but I appreciate the forgiveness of a mallet. And I think this does a great job of blending those two things. It gives me the forgiveness of hitting off the center, and I feel like I don't lose the same speed as I would on a traditional putter, which I have a beautiful Scotty Cameron here with an LA Golf shaft. It's a beautiful, beautiful club, and I love this putter quite a bit. But in all reality, I think the misses are just going to work a little better with this. And I also am a huge fan of this Super Stroke 17-inch. I think that's how long this thing is. Pretty big. This counterbalanced putter kind of just works for me. I just have this like really quirky thing and I just feel really nice with it. 35-inch shaft. It's just great. I love it. The Tweety Bird is the little creme de la creme on top. So yeah, that is in what's the bag for my 2025 season. Knowing me, there will probably be some changes. But to be fair, I'm super happy with this bag right now. I feel comfortable with the yardages it's giving me. I think I put them all on the screen at some point. But if I didn't, let me run through them quickly. My lob wedge, which is the 58 degrees, about 80 yards full. Sand wedge, which is the 54 degrees, about 96 full. The 50-degree mirror wedge is about 106. My 46 degree is 122. My first 9-iron, baby 9-iron, is 135. My big boy 9-iron is going to be 143. My 8-iron is 154. My 7-iron is 164. My 6-iron is 171. And my 5-iron is 183. Really happy with those numbers. And I think it's going to produce a little more consistent play out of me. So hopefully you guys will see some more fun course logs in the future. Planning to do some traveling as we get to the end of the year. Thank you guys again for watching. And a big thank you to Stephanie for holding the camera for however long this has been. See you guys soon.